All right. So I am in Roswell and I need to adjust this screen. Wonder how to adjust that. Oh well. Guess it's just going to be mirrored. Um, so I'm just here doing an interview. I'm bored, just sitting around. Figured I'd go live. Um, haven't been on in a while, so go ahead and share this. So how's every update on the Osiris? It is almost out of the garage. It should be up and rolling and back on the road. I believe Monday or today. Um, so that's a good thing. Thank everybody for who did donate to the fund to get the Osiris back up and running. The poor truck's just an old truck. It's seen a lot of wear and tear. Um, whether you like Jeremy or not, this guy's done amazing things for our company. So I'll support him until he burns me. He hasn't burnt me. So, that's how it goes in the real world. I don't have a reason to get rid of him. Plus, I kind of like the guy. And when you meet him in person, um, Jeremy is quite outstandingly a crazy intelligent person. Not the easiest to get along with. Little bit of little confrontational if you get in his face or you insult him. But other than that, um, I've gotten along with him. I've never had a problem with him. We've never gotten into a fight. What about Corbell? Oh no, Jeremy. The uh, Wow, brain farted. Uh, Jeremy UAPX. He's not. It's not Corbell. The guy that everybody was razzing on Twitter. Because every time he gets attacked, he goes ape shit and starts going nuts on Twitter. But luckily, he's off Twitter now, so we don't have to worry about that stress anymore. Oh, Jeremy McGowan. Sorry, I don't know why I brain farted so long from that, but I've been traveling for a day and a half and didn't get much sleep last night either, and won't get much sleep tonight. Well, um, yeah, well, let me turn that off. I, I thought it might be a good idea just to keep the spammers out, but um, yeah, save. There we go. All right, slow mo's off. Put a live chat on. There we go, so I can actually see everybody's chats. Yeah, I don't use any fancy software or anything like that when I go live. I don't get to go live very often. I don't have a whole lot of time, so yeah. So slow mo's off now. So have at it. Um, we do have yeah, the paragraphs in the chats are a little much, but That's creepy. Yeah, I've never heard of those mountains either. But then again, I have a feeling that every place that has a backpacking, especially I know up and down the East Coast, people go missing on the Appalachian Trail all the time. But yeah, I don't get up Phoenix way too often, but if I do, I definitely hit you up. But I didn't even know. I didn't even think I'd be in Roswell. So sorry for the shaky film, but it's on a table that keeps shaking with a laptop. Can everybody hear me okay? So everything I'm using is just off of the laptop. I don't have a headset or anything on. But as a status of what we're doing right now, we're still in the process of analyzing a ridiculous amount of data. We're using custom written software to go step by step through FLIR footage. We're doing we'll have to reverse that process and do it through all the UFO DAP videos too. We've got a ridiculous amount of research material to go through. And I think once we get everything set up, it may only take us 6 months to go through all of it. Once we get all of our algorithms running, the programs running to search for anomalous features in videos. We have no contract with the government at all. We are not affiliated with the government in any way, shape, or form. Nor will we ever be. Mostly because the government didn't want to help us, so we don't really want to help them. They just, crappy FOIA request after crappy FOIA request. So they want to deny everything that we know is true and not give us the information that we want. So we don't feel obligated to work with them or help them in any way, shape, or form. What we're doing is you could have. I saw something similar to that over the Nevada skies. That's a homesteader. By the way, I love your name. I want to do some permaculture and homesteading eventually. That's yeah. It looked just like with the Tic Tac from the Tic Tac encounter from the Nimitz encounter, but it was just a ball, and I saw that over Nevada. Nice. Rabbits for meat. Or actually all of them for meat. I would work with the only way that I'd work with the government themselves is as I wouldn't even work private contract for the government. The closest thing to the government that I would ever get is maybe through an educational institution, like a college or something like that. If say it was a federally funded project through a college, that'd be the closest thing to the government that I'd ever get. But no, I won't contract with the government. I mean, never say never, but as of right now, I can't think of any good reason to contract with them unless they're willing to go completely public with a lot of stuff that will make them real uncomfortable. No, Homesteader, there's a surprising amount of people that start on this path that get into UFOs and get into things and that are into homesteading and that are into being self-reliant and, um, tend to get closer to the earth. And I mean, I'm not trying to be, I'm not bagging on anybody that's, you know, into the whole Mother Nature thing, but for me, it's a matter of being self-sufficient and not needing anything from the government. Me and my wife have been well insulated from everything that's been happening with the pandemic and the food shortages and toilet paper shortages, and it's like, oh yeah, fruit trees, everything. I want to do berms, and honestly, eventually, I want to get a 10-acre, put the homestead and the main farm on 1 acre, and then acre by acre, do permaculture on each acre of the property. Because of the volatile nature of prepping and lack of storage space, I tend to. Hey, what's up, Rodrigo? Rodrigo, thanks for popping in, man. There's a message held for review, but I have no idea how to review it, so that message is not going to be seen. Yeah, I'm not really sure what you mean by dehydrate. Um, but I want to do a lot of no-till farming, and I want to get it to the point where I basically got a cycle where there's always a harvest, 24, yeah, 365 days a year. Oh, dehydrate vegetables. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, I want to get into dehydration, meat packing. They're you seems like you're already into it. So you know the laundry list of skill sets that you have to, canning and the laundry list of stuff. I'm assuming that those are good ones. I'll be honest, I don't know nothing. I have no idea about dehydrators. But if government agencies like NASA or uh, well, if the United States government comes clean with a lot of this stuff, it doesn't mean that they're still good to work with. I don't mind having an open data exchange, but I don't really see us like working hand in hand with them. Um, the government tends to want to take over everything. They tend to want to control the narrative about everything. And, if I mean, the only thing we control is just how long until we release our data. That's it. I mean, we're running this straight like a research project out of a college. We collect data, we analyze it, and then we release it, and then we base our conclusions in white papers and move on. That's basically what we're going to continue to do, and we're going to continue to do it until we have some type of answers. And we're going to refine our methods, refine our techniques. I mean, we learned so much just on our first expedition. So I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of information that we've and the things that we've learned since our expedition that we can fine tune our future ones. We're even thinking about ways to try to attract them. Try to figure out different techniques on how to attract them. I'm even going to for a couple of months now. I've been going to a CE5 group that's near where I live, and I don't. I'm not in the CE5 camp, but until it's proven otherwise, I don't believe you can prove it wrong either way. And they seem to have uh, a prolific history of seeing things. So I'm willing to give it the old college try, give it a good long period of time, maybe about a year of going to their meetings and doing CE5s with them. And then, if I'd say after a year of meetings, which is once a month, if I still don't see anything that I consider to be, whoa, and I can't say that it's consistent enough for us to use for research. If they can consistently produce results, we can do research. If they cannot consistently produce results, then it's just the luck of the draw. And my hypothesis that it doesn't really matter where you are, as long as you're looking up long enough, you'll see something. Yeah, I've gone to two CE5s, and uh, if it's a specific Skywatch that you're talking about, I don't know. Sorry, my wife's blowing me up while we're doing this. I don't know if he would. I've never met Greer. He doesn't have a very good reputation, but like I said, I invite anybody to prove what they're selling to me. Um, if they can't prove it to me, then it's not worth my time. And I mean, I kind of go on the basis that not everything you can prove. But if somebody says, I can't prove that I'm doing this, but I am going to give you such specific detail that the empirical evidence will prove that most likely it is because of something I did causing this, then I'll go ahead and chalk it up to them. I'll give them an empirical evidence, a nod of approval. But there's so many weird things. There's so many phenomenon that I just don't touch because either A, I don't understand it. B, there's no basis for me to test it. And C, it may just be too creepy for me to mess with. But just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean I discount it. But unfortunately, working on the fringe of science, it does also have a mixed bag of nuts. You do have a lot of mental illness that runs throughout this, and sometimes it's kind of one of those things where, where did chicken or the egg come first? Did the mental illness come first, or did the abduction? Maybe the abduction caused the mental illness. Who knows? But um, well, Sasquatch. I think we would have found him by now, but I don't want to make Dave Scott too angry. I love the man, and hey, even down in Florida, we got the legend of the swamp ape. So, I think just about everywhere in every culture, there's some type of legend of some hairy hominoid. If he's an alien, he's a pretty shitty one. I mean, damn. I think he'd have some tech or something, unless he's just like an alien animal or something. They just drop him down here for grazing, like we put a dog out. Like, hey, set the Sasquatch out to go pee, and then somebody sees him. Who knows? All right, I'm gonna blow this across Twitter one more time. See if we can get some people in here. Let's get some more good discussions. Oh, good old Paul Bunyan. That's not just a Minnesota thing. I think that's just a northern thing. I grew up with the Blue Ox and Paul Bunyan. I think in Minnesota there's a whole park to Paul Bunyan. Well, it's really weird with just about all this phenomenon is that there's just so much unrelated connections. It seems like they kind of keep falling into each other's camps and stuff like that. Not really, I'm really interested in that. I am interested in that stuff, like in my personal life, consciousness, things like that. Yeah, I love Lou. I talk to him every once in a while. We don't have like um, I mean, he's not hanging out at my house, but I mean, there's no issues between us whatsoever. I'll be dead honest with you. I have no idea what the Ignatus Forum was. Is that something that recently happened? I don't watch the news and I don't keep up with anything. Um, you're talking about Brainerd. I was talking to Rodrigo, talking about the Ignatus Forum. I love ancient history, civilization stuff. I'm fascinated with the Acadians. Um, 'Cause a lot of our lore and a lot of our religious stuff comes from the Acadian people. As a saved Christian, a lot of the old stories from the Old Testament were directly come down from the Acadian accounts. Plus, they have the oldest known writing in the world, at least as of right now. But yeah, and by the way, ask anything you want. I'll just tell you whether I know or not, or what my opinion is, or if I have no opinion, and I'll at least try to tell you why. I'll have to check out what this Ignigus forum is. You got me curious now. Good old Google. Let's Google that baby. Let's see what's going on with it. So hopefully soon, I'm going to start a podcast. Oh, the future in space thing. All right. Yeah. I haven't gotten to it yet. Avi, actually, I get an email chain from Avi and all that, and it's like it's on my list of things to do. Avi sends out a lot of emails, so it's hard to keep up with all of them. I have not read the book. I have actually been to Skinwalker Ranch, though. My honest opinion of Skinwalker Ranch: if you don't have any reason to be there, don't ever go there. We had personnel injured on the property. Um, Everything that you see on TV is real. They play up the human drama a little bit, actually a lot bit, but yeah, it's these are real events that happen on this property. It's actually some pretty disturbing stuff. Um, the first time so during the Nimitz encounter, I saw the UAP through high powered magnified binoculars on the bridge wing at such a ridiculous distance that they were just a speck on the horizon. Then I saw a video and I saw it on radar. So I never in person looked up in the sky and seen something. Well, that changed after I went to Skinwalker and watch season 3 and you'll see what I mean. Sorry for that one, but all that stuff's under NDA. I know it sucks, but that's Hollywood for you. All right, getting blown up again. Sorry. Yeah, these I like these live broadcasts though because it's I like to interact with people. Um, I think if I do a podcast, it's going to be like UCR does. It'll be a live deal. It won't be, you know, it won't be that way. I can interact it. Yeah, I'm a gamer. I play World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and the new '80s one that came out, the Cold War, and sometimes Overwatch. And I just started playing. I haven't really got super into it yet, but the MMO that Amazon put out, New World, it actually looks beautiful. It's a well rendered game. I think everybody used to play WoW. I love it. Yeah, only WoW players will understand that. No, thank you. Sorry, housekeeping. So I'm just here for an interview. They thought it'd be a good location for an interview. I'm not saying who they is. Um, I honestly don't know how much I can talk about it, but I'll talk to the producers and see what I can talk about, what I can't. But it's mostly just an interview about the Nimitz encounter. So that means you got a good dog there. Fortunately, we just lost our dog, and I mean he was uh, you know he was he was our baby. Before we had our youngest daughter, we had never planned on having kids together, me and my wife, and so our dog Liam was he was family. He was our baby. That's just how life goes sometimes. But and it was a horrible accident, so it just no one's real fault in the situation. But it's just the only reason to bring it up is every time you know, somebody would hit we have a gated outside, and as soon as he heard that gate latch, he'd start going nuts that there was somebody in the yard. So yeah. Yeah, I ran all the weapon systems that tracked the UAP prior to the F-18 interrogation. Um, it's kind of cool being here, but I'll be honest with you, it's kind of gimmicky. I walked around last night just to kind of get a feel for things, and I like the area. It's got a good feel to it, but it's just like it's kind of like overindulged with the whole alien thing. Like I'm not even completely convinced everything we see in the sky that's a UAP is actually alien tech. So I mean, but it's fun to be here. It's on my bucket list to come here. Now I can check it off the list of stuff. But I want to try to come at least get live a little bit more often. If I can ever actually get, what is it, 2,000 subscribers, I'll start doing mobile lives more often. But basically, it's I'm not very good at video editing or doing anything like that. So that's actually why I like the live stuff, because then I've got people sitting here talking to me, interacting. I can talk with, and it gives me things to say. It's Huh. The very first tattoo I ever got was in Groton, Connecticut. Blue Moon tattoo right outside the gate to the base there. Yeah, I was raised in Massachusetts. Um, it the interviews don't bother me. It's crazy to see how many people don't know about the Nimitz encounter. You know, I mean, for as much news as it's made, there's still so many people that have no idea that the government's admitted that UFOs are real. Yeah, I'll discuss just about anything. It's just like, but like with Lou, I'm the same way. I held a top secret clearance. I'm not going to tell you about the specific capabilities of the equipment I used. I'll talk about the event itself, my ideas, things like that. I won't talk about anything that's classified. Um, you're not getting any information that's not relevant, though. All the information that I'm holding back is all not relevant. It's all system specific stuff that really smart people could utilize, and I understand how they could utilize it, but also foreign countries could too. So it may not seem like a big deal to the average person, but some yeah, actually China. We actually had a situation where somebody from China was trying to pump one of us for information. Ended up having the FBI involved and everything. Yeah, there's not. We're kind of in a little stagnant mode right now. We're while we're doing our data processing, we're not really taking on. I mean, we've got so much data to process. Then we're a small group, so um, I know it makes sense to bring more people on, but I like to keep our group small and tight. I don't like, I got trust issues. So, I want to keep the people that I know close and try to take care of everything we can in house before we grow. When it gets to the point where we have to grow, then we can bring in more people. But I'm pretty happy with what we got now and with this situation. Um, if our once we're a full federal nonprofit and we can start taking donations on a more larger scale, um, with the allowance of a budget, then we can actually hire people to do some of this stuff. But until then, basically we're it's all sweat equity and out of pocket. So it, I don't have a problem talking about extraterrestrials. I've never seen one. Feel free to throw your 2 cents in. I'm in Roswell, so might as well talk about aliens, right? By the way, thanks for stopping by, Lisa. It's always good to see a new face, or if you're not a new face, I'm sorry I don't recognize you, but I don't get on live too often. So, yes, what's it? I understand the whole from another dimension, but exactly what is a crypto terrestrial? A encrypted terrestrial? I think the phenomenon is more complicated than we can possibly fathom, and I think it's based out of consciousness. I think that just like when you do the double slit experiment with photons, that consciousness affects everything. Period. That consciousness is actually the phenomenon. Yeah, I'm an affiliate on the Leo project. Oh, I have no doubt that there's other intelligent species out there. I do think that if they are here, they've been here since before we developed. I have a feeling that they've been on this planet longer than we have. You know, maybe not our genome, but maybe they've been here longer than we've been able to, you know, make fire. So, matter of fact, I got some opinions that I'll make more public once the episode of Skinwalker Ranch airs, because there's some real creepy shit going on in that place. Breakaway civilization. I'm not so sure that they even have to live inside the Earth. Um, I think one of the plausible things that could have happened in our past is that this planet could have been destroyed by nuclear war at one point, and then it's going to eventually redevelop itself. But the inhabitants at that time would have had to go underground. You're right, or even under the oceans, because it would have been a great way to protect from the radiation poisoning above. So I don't think it's completely far fetched for the breakaway civilization idea, and because their technology would be so much farther ahead of ours than, you know, I don't believe that we would even. I think would just be now starting to get to the point where we could actually even know that they are here. I'm not sure if I've seen that, the Great Pyramid movie from 2019. There's a lot of Great Pyramid movies, so I'll have to specifically try to find that one. Well, yeah, the Indians have texts of great wars that destroyed the planet and things like that, and then there's always the Great Flood story that permeates just about every society on Earth. How do you raise your consciousness? I don't know. I'm still trying to raise mine. What I do is I try to meditate on a regular basis. I try to focus inward instead of outward. I try to live in the moment. I try to be aware, truly aware, instead of running my life like you do coming home from work, where you drive your entire drive and you don't even remember the drive. I make sure that I'm trying to live in that moment. I try to utilize every aspect of every day. Like, I was bored today and I knew I hadn't interacted with anybody in a while, so I popped on here to do a live. um, with consciousness. I think it's kind of one of those elusive things that the more you try to chase it, it's kind of like water running, or like kinetic sand running through your fingers. The more you try to hold on to it real tight, it just slips away. So you got to basically just accept it and be in it rather than worry about, you know, raising it or anything like that. I think once you do, it's kind of like falling in love. How do I know if I'm in love? Well, you do when you get there, but you don't know until you get there. So I have absolutely no idea how to raise your consciousness, but that's how I try to. So hopefully that's an acceptable answer for you, Lisa. How do I feel personally about the opinion that they've been here this long? It is daunting and fascinating and scary. Yeah, it's very scary. Another hypothesis is if it is extraterrestrial, that they basically just own this planet, and we're just something on the planet, and they own us too. So um, that could be the big secret that nobody wants to get out. It could be kind of like a Pandora's box where, I don't even think we'd be their pets, man. If anything, we'd be just genetic experiments. Hell, for all we know, that every single person on this planet has a genetic marker that's the same, and we're just a research group. I mean, hey, let's change this genetic marker and see what happens to the society. See if they develop or not. And then they, you know, develop societies at a grand scale to see how well they flourish based off of what genetic sequence that they employ. You know, there's all kinds of reasons. I mean, what drives me crazy is I absolutely hope that they're completely benevolent, that they're nice, they want nothing but the great sunshines for us. But if you extrapolate what happens here on the planet to the universe, I honestly believe it's dog eat dog. You know, the universe can't be better than it is here. I mean, it's probably worse. You know, I mean, there's probably been hundreds of civilizations in a blink of an eye gone just because Graham Hancock. I'm not familiar with his research. What is it? What is it based off of, or what is it based in? Is it genetic? Is it just theories? It could be. We have a natural affinity for precious metals, um, but you know, we all like our shiny objects. You know, me, I like translucent objects, pretty, stuff like prisms and things like that. That could be true. Joe's got a pretty healthy interest in UFOs. So, yeah, there's a lot of weird things that happened in the past that we've got really no explanations for, but there could be very benign explanations for things. There could be have just been people ahead of their time. I mean, look at people like like Elon Musk and like even Einstein and all those people. I mean, a lot of their theories and a lot of the things that they thought of, they're like Tesla. Their ideas were so far ahead of time that we're just too short sighted as society. But yeah, I'll check out that guy. Let's see, Graham Hancock. Let me go ahead and make a note of that as well. I'm always interested in anything that's contributive, but I don't necessarily go out and look for it. So now simulations theory, I go ahead and give that some credence too, because when you think about it, you don't really see anything around you. You don't feel anything around you. You look at something and photons then interact with photoreceptors, which then send signals to your brain, which are interacting with your brain, producing a picture that you technically you project the picture in your mind, and that's how you see. Um, so it's an odd thing to realize that you're actually not seeing, or you're not feeling, or you're not tasting, or you're not smelling. That it's all just that there's an intermediary between what you're actually doing, and it's being interpreted by your brain, and then you're experiencing. So there's always that slight delay. Let's see. Yeah, we very well could have amnesia. Genetic memory is one of the things that I subscribe to. I believe there's a lot of information locked in our DNA that we have yet to be able to. I mean, actual information. Um, Hybrids. I don't see why not. If there really are aliens, there could be hybrids. I don't have a dog in that pony show, Lisa. I don't think about it too often because it's if they are, it's kind of one of those things. If there are, there are. If they're not, they're not. So um, it's super interesting if somebody could prove it. Um, I know that the the evidence that people point to with like how in genetics with blood types and stuff like that. I've read up on that type of stuff too, but not a whole lot of evidence for hybrids though. Now, gray skull, is it all the brain or is it the consciousness connected to the brain? The brain is just an organ. It's a thing. It's a data processor. It's a biochemical computer. That's all the brain is. But then our consciousness is what interprets how we see things and how we interact with the brain itself. So it's that mind brain pairing. What is it? Well, it's way more than a hard drive, son, homesteader. It's it not only it's kind of like a processor and a hard drive all in one. It's like your RAM, your processor, and your hard drive all in one. Yeah, I got a feeling that when we do figure out exactly what consciousness is, that nothing else is going to matter anymore. Yeah, I was just reading a book that described Descartes' mind-brain pairing. Yeah, I think meditation is definitely one of the things that everybody should do. Even if you don't believe in meditation, you should do it. And the reason why I do it and why I started to do it is it helps with my PTSD. It helps with my anger issues. It helps with me coping. And it takes a long, long time to actually meditate. So don't get it twisted when you can't just sit there for an hour and have some miraculous thing happen. Honestly, getting into a deep meditation probably took me 3 years before I even understood what they meant by deep meditation. I did it mostly just to unwind, I've been doing it since I was a kid unknowingly because I can remember being as a kid and just being so just too much going on up here. And I would, be staring at the ceiling, thinking about 5 or 6 different things. And uh, I'm diagnosed with severe tinnitus. It doesn't bother me. Just you just got to make sure that you are listening to, like, I have to listen to music when I meditate. So some type of like I personally like a bass drum line or some type of methodic beat when I meditate, and that's helps with my tinnitus. The whole earth frequency stuff and stuff like that really messes with my tinnitus, so I don't generally use that stuff. I've tried to, just because don't know until you try, but uh, I YouTube things like shaman meditations or Indian meditations or drum meditations or bass meditations. Just keep doing refining your search until you find something that works with you. But with tinnitus, you just got to find something that doesn't trigger the tinnitus, because if I'm in a really, really quiet place, my tinnitus goes crazy. Or if I have certain tones and frequencies, the tinnitus goes crazy. So, all right, let me catch up on these. All right, Buddha. Buddha, the Buddhists and the Buddha have always been a big interest for me. Just everything in that culture, and especially the Indian culture itself, they've got a lot to teach. Computers were designed after the human brain. What if it were the other way around? Computers are the ET tech, and we're their equipment, their experiment. It's not out of the realm of possibility that all of the extraterrestrials we see aren't really extraterrestrials, but they're actually biomechanical AI or just AI, period. But I think they would have been created by some type of, you know, some civilization. But um, you got to remember, civilization doesn't have to be carbon based. You know, it can be silicone based. It can be, uh, there's a plethora of other ways that life could have proliferated throughout society. I mean, you know, so who knows exactly what's going on out there? And I think we probably will never know everything, but doesn't mean we can't keep trying. And I think that that's one of our shining things in, um, as being humans, is that, you know, we may have our dark periods, but we're always for the underdog. We're always, you know, there's always that ray of sunshine, that small amount of hope that, you know, and, you know, that's what I cling to, you know, because, you know, even I get into these really dark places, and, you know, I'm actually just now getting out of a depression. My dog threw me for a loop. Then I had my aunt just died, and it was kind of a sudden thing. She had passed away of what we think is a heart attack in the night. And she wasn't real old. She was only in her early 50s. And, you know, those things kind of just, they beat you down, you know. And, you know, luckily I've got, you know, my family, my wife, and, you know, I've been able to bounce back from it. But I don't know why I got off tangent, but sorry. Any other questions from the peanut gallery here? Just kidding. Yeah. But the irony of a lot of the questions that people ask is I really don't think that, unless it's a nuts and bolts thing, stuff with consciousness and the phenomenon, there's no easy answers. And I think it's going to be unique to each person. Everybody's journey is, you know, has different steps, and you just got to find your own. Um, Nobody likes to hear that answer. Just like when I had lost all my weight, I had lost over 100 pounds, and people would say, "Oh, wow, that's amazing. You know, what did you do?" And I say, "Well, it was diet and exercise." And they'd be like, "Oh," and it's like, I give you the answer, but you don't want to hear it. And, you know, that's, hey, what's up, man? Thanks for popping in. Yeah, they're doing well. I'm just out here in Roswell doing an interview, and I was bored in my hotel room, so I thought I'd go live and interact with folks for a little while. Thanks for popping in, man. Also, remember to subscribe, because eventually I want to be able to do mobile podcasts. And they don't let you do anything until you hit like 2,000 subscribers. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm going live here because it's on my laptop, and, you know, but you can't from your mobile device. You can't do anything unless you have 2,000 followers. Yeah, Steve got to see. He got invited on the set of our documentary, and he got to see firsthand what we were doing with our boots on the ground investigation. And we caught some cool stuff. And yeah, I cannot elaborate on that right now. But the documentary should hopefully be out in, you know, the February March timeframe. So not much more time to wait for that. Yeah, but I think Steven was just happy that, uh, what he meant by a lot of that is the fact that somebody's actually trying to do legitimate research in UFO. And so it's not just us running around looking at old files and doing FOIA requests. You know, we're going out and actually, you know, trying to get actual data and information for people. You got an alien driver's license. Oh, that'd be cool. Wouldn't mind having that. Yeah, I'm a big dork for the touristy stuff, though. It is a little corny, but I have no idea. I've seen the first cut of the trailer, but I've seen nothing since. So, but if you go to a tear in the sky, or if you Google a sky, you could probably get on the list, and if you give them your email address, they'll notify you as things change and things drop and stuff like that. I'm not sure. I don't know who the distribution's through, so um, that's all stuff that the producers and stuff handle. I haven't gotten, but since it's in the public domain and anybody can find it, that's why I don't mind telling people about the website. So, but if I could figure out how to do it after the live stream, I'll try to put those links up there. But I got to get permission to put them up there first. So yeah, with that stuff, it's all sticky because of NDAs and stuff like that. I honestly, I can't wait till we don't have to rely on other people's money to do our work. So that'll be a nice day. But it is again, it's called A Tear in the Sky. So if you Google it, you'll see it's a page, and uh, I've had a little bit of interaction with them. I am an affiliate on the program. I haven't had a whole lot of time. I've attended most of their meetings and listened in on it, and but uh, they're really wanting to start from scratch. So really the only kind of input that I've had on them is what kind of equipment they should be looking for, what kind of things they should be using, that type of stuff. I don't believe that we'll have any situation to collaboratively use each other's data, except I believe that they will provide us with data that they have, but they're not interested in anybody else's data. They're keeping it all in house. They're starting from the ground up. They're building the foundation like you're supposed to. It's going to be, it's basically going to be the proof in the pudding, because everything is done in a very, very controlled environment. So can't wait to see what they produce. I mean, it seems like they're taking 10 steps back because they're not using you know known hotspots or anything like that, or any type of outside information. But they sort of are in the aspect of they want to know what they're looking for. They want to know how to look for it, and whether or not their platforms are and their systems, and the way that they're going at it is that they're not spinning their wheels. So in that respect, that I think once everything's said and done, it will benefit us more by them being an independent entity rather than just utilizing all this old data to try to get results. Because honestly, I've got a hypothesis that it doesn't really matter where you look up, as long as you look up. That if you look up long enough, you will see something amazing. All right. Well, I got about 1 more minute, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut this stream off. And well, they're not utilizing the information as such. I think they're inviting, yes, a tear in the sky. Um, even some of the people they brought on that I'm a little skeptical of, and that UFO podcast. I think you understand exactly who I'm talking about. Um, they're not actually using their information, though. They're more like consultants. That's why we're all consultants on the project. We're not a part of the project. We're just consultants. So you got to hear everything from every angle if you're gonna do a good experiment. So you got to be able to control all the variables, and in order to do that, you have to know what you're dealing with, know your animal, know all the aspects of the animal, and that's where that comes in. So, but all right, unless I'll give you guys about 10 more seconds to throw in any more questions you might have. And then I'm going to go ahead and end this, and I might take a little nap. I got about another hour before my interview. I'm going to get a little cat nap in. Yeah, no worries, man. Like I said, if I could do mobile cast, I'd probably go live more often. But all right, and with that, it's 1 hour and 1 minute. Take it easy, guys, and yeah, bless you all for real.